Hi everyone, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm hoping everyone can see the screen here, which says that we have Spanish interpretation today by the Tucson Language Justice Collective. And the way that works, if you're not familiar with it, you're gonna click on the globe icon and you'll hear someone live interpreting as the meeting's going on. And so it works best if you kind of stay on one channel. We're also asking, as we get into the discussion, that you please speak slowly and audibly to help and with assisting our Spanish interpreters who are here today. Thank you so much for being with us. So we have, here's our agenda. We have, our welcome. We're gonna be really diving into the Pima County Community Land Trust and what a land trust is. Today, we're gonna be researching, talking a little bit about the code amendments, the rehab program for ADUs, a few case studies, and then we're gonna be jumping into our announcements about our program as that's unfolding as well. So we have a lot to get through today, so we'll try to make it as quick as we can and have enough time for discussion. So, so we're disabling the chat for now, but we will have again a pretty lengthy question and answer session at the end. And we're going to give the presentation first, so please hold your questions till the end. So again, this session is designed for people who want to build these. We're not really here to discuss the merits of ADU casitas or that's already done. So, and we'll be discussing potential support in the programs that are developing by ourselves and the city. So our team is myself, Sharia Jimenez with Cuadro, and we have also the Pima County Community Land Trust. Maggie, do you want to introduce yourself, and Geraldine?
Sure. My name is Maggie Amado Tejes, and I am the Executive Director of the Pima County Community Land Trust.
Hi, everyone. My name is Geraldine Aramburo, and I am the program coordinator for the ADUs at Pima County Community Land Trust. Welcome, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Oops. And I realized I may have been sharing the wrong slide. So
yeah,
let me stop my share. And thankfully, the first few slides are always the same. So
yeah, I was getting deja vu for a minute with that agenda. I was like, that sounds like a past session we did.
I know. I was like, wait a minute, this agenda doesn't seem right. Okay, hold on just a minute. Let's see.
Yeah, this is our last in a series. So we have we've compiled a lot of resources at this point that we get them confused.
Okay. All right. This is correct.
That's the one. That's the one.
All right. So yeah, Casitas and Land Trust presentation, live full conversation. There we go. There's our quick agenda. And our team, Wesley also is with me with Cuadro on the call. And of course, our other partners are the City of Tucson, the ward offices, and PDSD staff. So thank you all. They've been great also. And we are being generously funded by the Vitalist Health Foundation. So I'm just gonna skip all this because we've gone through it. We're here at the, I do want to go back to kind of where we are in our focus group series. We're here at the end. We went through financing, permitting, building, renting, legalization of casitas that are already in existence, and now we're on the protect focus group, which is really going to dive into the community land trust model. If this is your first time on the call with us, We have all these sessions recorded, so please feel free to go through them again. But we're really going to be focusing this session on the land trust model and potential support. So with that being said, I'll hand it off to Maggie, who's going to go into the land trust with us.
Hi again, everybody. So this is we have like a gazillion slides, but we're going to go through them pretty fast, and you will have access to these. I think Wes is going to send them to y'all or have them available after this. So thank you all for participating today, and I will try to make this painless. It's kind of an easy idea anyway. So, all right. So can I control this, Wes, or no? You have to kind of do it, or someone who's going to do the slides?
Shay's at the reins right now.
Okay. All right. So again, I'm Maggie Amado Tejas. This is contact information for myself. Gigi Aldridge is our project developer, and I don't think she's on the call today. Geraldine Aramburu is our kind of ADU program coordinator. And I don't know if Frances is on too. Frances from my office is a compliance officer, so she may be in or not, I'm not sure.
I am here.
Okay.
Everybody, I'm here. Thank you.
All right, great. So the Pima County Community Land Trust is a community-based nonprofit. We are a 501c3 charitable organization. We're committed, and we were created to provide permanently affordable housing to low and moderate income house residents. And through our work, we've been able to do community revitalization in the neighborhoods where we have houses. And then more importantly is that, we provide ongoing programs and services to our constituents, to our clients, to our homeowners, to achieve, preserve, and sustain affordable home ownership. So I'll say it a few times, but we are the developer that never goes away. So next. So this is a kind of an easy way of telling you what a community land trust is. So we basically want to treat the land as public good. We hold it in trust for our community. So what we do in a nutshell with our home ownership program is we keep ownership of the land and we sell the improvements. And so we want to make sure that this benefits the community from one family or household to the next. It's kind of a very easy model, but still a lot of people in real estate, most people are used to, I own the land and I own the house. And so this is a little bit different. It's not renting. So our history is easy. We were incorporated in 2010 by the city of Tucson. If you think back to 2010, we were, in the midst of the then housing crisis, where, people, there was, if you remember back then, it's already been what, 12, 13 years, we had house after house after house that had been foreclosed on, and they were boarded up, and they were really, affecting the values of neighborhoods. So the city of Tucson knew that they would be receiving, federal funds because we were an area hard hit by foreclosure. Those funds were called NSP, or Neighborhood Stabilization Program funds, similar to the funds that we're seeing now, which are the ARPA funds or the American Rescue Program funds or something. So we received about 75% of the funds that the city got. They transferred it. They incorporated us. They staffed us for the first 2 years. And so far, we have been able to acquire, rehab, and build 94 homes. These are 94 single-family residences that are right now fully occupied with 94 low to moderate income households. But we've of those original homes, we have resold 17 of them. So we've actually been able to help 123 households. We've revitalized 30 neighborhoods, and we've invested about $13 million into the community. Next. So the community land trust is what we call an innovative model of ownership. So the ground lease ties the land and the house together. And the lease is long-term, it's 99 years. It's inheritable, which means that if you pass away, your spouse, your child, or anyone who's lived with you for at least a year can inherit the ground lease. And they're mortgageable, you can get a mortgage. It's balanced, and again, the individual owns the building or the structure, and the community or through the community land trust owns the land. And that's one of our houses too. We're a little bit different in the way that we're organized. We're a nonprofit, and we hold the land, and there's a balance of interests on our board. We are governed by a board. A third of our board are our homeowners. So we have 12 board members right now, so 4 of them are homeowner leaseholders. A third can represent the community where we work, and a third represent the public, which in the old times, it used to be a lot of government employees. Right now we have like maybe 1. So next, see, these are fast. And then we're an innovative model of operation. We really are, trying to, focus on people who have been excluded from the economic mainstream. These are like features that have been developed in the community land trust model over time. And so we wanted to make sure that this program specifically was helping low to moderate income households. We're also, we really want to make sure that these homes are affordable from one person to the next. So I think it's been stated in these focus group meetings a few times that affordable housing is not affordable. It's not like, all of a sudden these houses are cheaper to build. Well, all that it means is that we are layering subsidies to make it affordable. So what that means when we want to keep things affordable from one buyer to the next is that we're reusing and recycling that subsidy so that it benefits multiple. We have 94 homes that have benefited 117 families. So that means I think we've resold 23 of them from one buyer to the next. And then we really want to make sure that we're not creating a cycle of failure. Like we're trying to make people successful. So we stopped, we're a stopgap. We're there to provide information. We are a HUD approved. One thing I did not mention is that we are now a HUD housing counseling agency. We have HUD certified counselors. So we can help people prepare for home ownership. And once you're a homeowner, we provide ongoing homeowner services. We have services that help right now people who are behind on their mortgages. We have access to funds from the state of Arizona that, up to $25,000 to help people get current on their mortgage. And so again, we really want to make sure that people are successful.
Maggie, it's Francis. And also when the house increases in value and the homeowner has equity, they get to keep 25%, correct?
Right, yeah, I'll get to that. So this is a really long presentation, so I'm going to try and get through it as fast. So, and then, there's also, we, like I keep saying, we're the developer that never goes away. We are always there. So it's we're stewards of this land. We're stewards of the homes. So we're wanting to make sure that they're, kept up, but we're also stewards of the households. And I keep on saying that it's really, really important to us that people are successful. So like I said, we provide housing counseling and we provide, in some cases, monetary assistance and resources. So that's very, very important. A lot of, builders and out there, or even affordable housing developers, in the past used to build a house, sell you the house, and then say, see you later. So we don't do that. Next. So there are about 260 community land trusts in the state of Washington, in the United States, and including Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico. And again, the benefits are, the stewardship component, preserving these scarce resources, which is also not only the affordable housing unit, but the subsidies that make these affordable. We are another tool in the tool belt. We are, another resource for people to achieve home ownership. Again, we support our homeowners. We really want to make neighborhoods stable. So supporting development and affordable housing without displacing people, which is called gentrification sometimes. We're also pretty flexible to try to find a model that works for the community or for the specific need. And then more importantly, we're really frugal. We're a lean, mean machine. There are 7 staff members and we do a lot with a very small budget. And again, this is another kind of visual that kind of explains how we work. Again, the house, is owned by the individual and they only pay. So you only have to mortgage the structure. The land is owned by the community land trust. And we have a 99-year ground lease that can be extended another 99 years. And then there's a resale formula, which is really the crux of how we reuse and recycle that subsidy. So there's a formula, it's called shared equity, but basically it's a formula that says how much you can keep when you sell the home. So the idea is, people who are part of the community land trust have to kind of agree with the mission of creating affordable housing and keeping it permanently affordable from, when you buy it, then when you sell it, you're agreeing to only take a portion of the increase in value. And I'll kind of go through that in the next few slides. So fee simple versus leasehold, and this is more like real estate jargon. This is what most people are used to, owning their homes and the land, and that's called fee simple versus leasehold, which is the model of the community land trust, which is owning the improvement with a leasehold interest in the land. And in the case of our program, it's a 99-year leasehold interest. And we can just skip this one because I feel like I'm saying it 50 million times, but I think you all get it. So there are resale restrictions. Again, this is the very important part of how we keep these homes affordable from one buyer to the next. So the ground lease restricts the resale of these homes to another income eligible buyer. So they have to be, land trust has to be involved in determining the income eligibility. And it also limits the amount of equity that the buyer can keep when they sell it to 25% of whatever it has gone up in value. And I'll kind of do the numbers too, so that you can see it. And so right now, we build homes. We built 5 homes this last year, and we acquired 89 homes. So of those 89 homes, original homes, 23 of those have been resold. So that's kind of how we keep on going, because people sell their homes. Life happens. People pass away. People get another job. People, get divorced, and it's always my fault for whatever reason. But there are always reasons that people want to sell their homes. So that's how we continue to have houses for sale. And this is also a way for land trust to be sustainable, because there's, we get to charge a little transaction fee. We do actually have the right of first refusal, which means that if somebody says they want to sell the home, we have the right to purchase it from them directly. And we do that once in a while, especially if it's a hardship, but we try not to, because all it does is increase costs, which means that we're kind of sucking some of that equity out of the house. Next. So what are the benefits? And, I've been doing this for like 12 or 13 years now, and I like in the beginning, you'd have questions from everyone like, why are you doing this? What is so important? There are some really huge benefits to this program, but more importantly, you know, it's huge savings. Like I said, we've been able to, especially originally with the NSP funds, it was basically, you know, deep pockets. You know, we created a program and thankfully we've been able to continue that. So we've been able to do a program that, you know, we reduce, so by keeping the land, the difference between a fee simple appraisal and a leasehold appraisal is different. I mean, it's cheaper to purchase a house without the land. So there's that first discount when you purchase a house without without the land, your appraised value is going down, right? So that's the first discount. And in this example, you know, the fee simple value is 230. The leasehold appraised value is 189. So this just off the bat, $41,000 cheaper. Same house as the next door neighbor, but cheaper. So this is the price we sell the homes at, but it's not the price people pay. So next, there's also limited out of pocket. There's, you know, to date, we've been able to continue with the no down payment, meaning you don't need any money for down payment. If you're familiar with purchasing a home, you need to put at least 3%, 5%, 10% down, plus closing costs. So here we have no down payment, limited closing costs, but you know, you still have to come in with some funds. We do have access to down payment assistance, to wish funds. So, you know, that's separate and apart from the subsidies in these homes. You know, we have down payment assistance, and the difference is down payment assistance becomes yours after so many years. You know, we use City of Tucson down payment assistance and wish funds. After an affordability period of 5 years or whatever, that money is yours. So we try to, you know, layer the subsidies, including the subsidies that you get to keep. So additionally, we do what's called a write down. And this is where the subsidies that we have in this project are reused and recycled. So we sell you the house for $189,000 and we write it down an additional $45,000. That means you only have to come in with $144,000 mortgage, including down payment assistance. So your mortgage would probably, you know, this is an actual example of one of the Riverview homes where people only had to come in with $144,000. And with the layering of down payment assistance, we had people come in with a mortgage of $122,000 and they got $22,000 in additional down payment assistance. So they were able to purchase, you know, a home for very little, a very small mortgage. So yeah, so all of this equals, you know, a lower purchase price and a lower mortgage just means that your monthly payment is much lower, you know, and these are, you know, this adds up. And also because all of our loans are, the loan is not more than 80% of the purchase price. And if you're in the real estate or financial world, you know, if you put less than 20% down on your house, you have to pay what's called mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance is insurance that insures the lender should you default. And it can be quite pricey. It adds oftentimes more than $100 to your monthly payment. So right there, we're also helping to take that. So this is an example this is a Riverview example. This is one of the very first homes we sold back in August. So these are August prices. In January, February, this went up a little bit more, but you know, for the same house, it went up like $7,000, $8,000 just in the span of a few months. So the Riverview homes, the $254,000 is the fee simple appraised value. This is what the house was worth with the land. And on the left side, you're seeing what we ultimately sold it for under the community interest model. And on the right side is is what the cost would be if you would purchase this home with the land using an FHA loan. So you see right away the difference in the purchase price, right? Or the appraised value. The leasehold value, we're selling the house for $237,000. If you were purchasing it with the land, you would be buying it for $254,000. We wrote down what's $93,000 because they only had to come in with $144,000. That means that the difference between the 237 purchase price and ultimately their contribution was a write down. These are subsidies that make these houses affordable. And then if there's no upfront mortgage insurance premium, so your loan was 144. Back then, the rates were 3.5% for a 30-year loan. That means that principal and interest payment was $646. Taxes and insurance were $190. No MI, which is the no mortgage insurance. So their monthly payment was $836 plus the land trust fee of $30. So their monthly payment was $866. Compare it to had they purchased this home with an FHA loan with and including the land, they'd have to they purchase it for $254,000. They'd have to come in with a down payment of 3.5%, I think, right, Jer? I think which is $8,890. That's money out of pocket that you have to come in with. Your base loan amount is $245,100, and then you get charged like an upfront mortgage insurance premium of $1.75, and that's added to your loan. So your total loan is $229,399, whatever. All of that, and if you notice, the mortgage insurance is $148. So we're talking about $1,368 payment for the same house with the land, without the land. So anyway, next. And I think I gave you an old presentation. So I think you went backwards, dear, instead of forward. So I kind of, in a nutshell, put these down, so what are the advantages right there? You're lowering the purchase price by $93,000. There's no down payment, so you saved $8,890. Your mortgage is $85,399 less. And so that means it's like $502 a month less, or you pay $30,000 less in 5 years. So those are kind of the advantages of the community land trust. We don't just make it a little bit more affordable, we make it a lot more affordable. So what are the eligibility criteria? Like I said, we focus on low to moderate income households. So you have to be between 50 and 80% of area median income for Pima County. These are federal numbers. So, the federal HUD actually comes out with the income parameters every year. In fact, we have the new income parameters as of June 15. So you have to be, and it depends on your household size. So, the more people in your household, the more income you can make to be eligible. You cannot be a homeowner. This is not a first-time homebuyer program. First-time homebuyer is a very specific definition, meaning that you've not owned a home ever, or you haven't owned a home within the last 3 years. So if you sold a house last year, for a first-time homebuyer program, you wouldn't be eligible. We don't care. We just don't want you to be a current homeowner. You have to qualify for a mortgage. You have to have at least $1,500 of your own money plus 2 months reserves. This doesn't mean that this is all you're going to pay out of pocket. You typically have to pay your closing costs. But like I said, you can, get down payment assistance. You can get gift monies, but $1,500 has to be your own, and we have to see another, 2 months of reserve. So whatever your PITI, with that 866 number, which is your monthly mortgage payment, we need to see that 2 times in your savings or checking. And then we do, try to give priority to larger households for larger houses, all things being equal. This is the actual, these are the new income criteria for eligibility. There are 3 columns. One is 80%, one is 60%, and one is 50. So between the, so for a household of 1, you cannot make more than 42,950, and you cannot make less than 26,850. The top number is kind of a hard and fast rule. This is a HUD's definition. You cannot be over this number. The bottom number, is something that, is on a case-by-case basis. If you are less than that, there's still a possibility that you could participate in the program with us. Okay. So the resale formula, and this is what, people talk about all the time. So say using the example where we're selling you a house today, or in 2017, I guess we sold you a house that, the leasehold appraised value was 189,000, but now in 2026, it's worth 209. So it's gone up $20,000. You get to keep 25% of that, which is $5,000. Plus you get your $144,000, which was your original investment. So you would get $149,000. I don't know if the next slide says it, but this is where the recycling of subsidy makes a lot of sense. So if you kind of go back to that other slide, then what happens is that a person today then will buy a $209,000 house, the resale, for about $149,000. And this is how we, reuse and recycle the subsidy, and we grow it. We're actually making this home more affordable. Next. So the criteria in the ground lease is that, of course, this has to be your primary residence, owner occupied, can't rent it out. You pay a ground lease fee of $30, and it can be adjusted up or down by the board of directors. You are responsible for all of the property taxes. Here we have not been able to get the tax assessor to give you all a break. So you must maintain your home, and any improvements on the home must be approved by the land trust and the HOA, and must be completed in a workmanlike fashion. And although this sounds kind of controlling, it really isn't. Unfortunately, a lot of people, will want to do like an addition and enclose of this and an enclose of that. And if they don't do it with the proper permits, then sometimes all of the money that you've invested is for nothing. It doesn't increase the value. And sometimes it actually, I don't know what it's called, Shay, when people knock down walls between bedrooms and make a 3-bedroom or 1-bedroom, and it just kind of, you actually devalue the house. So those types of things. So we have 94 permanently affordable single-family homes in our portfolio. 117 low and moderate income households have benefited from this program and purchased a home. We've had 23 resales. Again, we provide, pre-purchase, post-purchase counseling, and we also have 21 affordable rental opportunities. We are also, like I said, a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, which I think this is an old presentation, so I think I didn't put it in there. So what's our economic impact? And this is a good one. We've invested over $13 million in Tucson through the purchase, the acquisition, the rehab, and new construction, and the resale of 94 permanently affordable homes. We've provided $9.9 million in discounts through the discount of the purchase price, write downs, and
okay.
And this has really been helpful to reduce the mortgages and increase people's purchasing power. And over $5 million has been paid to local contractors and housing industry professionals. So we've been doing economic development, by creating and retaining jobs. Of course, we don't get credit for that, but hey. And the social impact has been, of course, I keep on saying it, 117 low and moderate income families have purchased a permanently affordable home. They've saved over $3,000 in annual, and that's something we don't even talk about, like that difference, between the 1,300 and the 866 or whatever that number is. Every month, that's instant equity. When you're paying, $300 to $400 less than what your neighbor is paying for the same house, it's either going to help you to buy more house or save a lot of money. So you're also saving money out of pocket. We also tried to do green rehab to support sustainability, especially back in 2008, 9, and 10, when every other house, if you all remember, was boarded up. We really did make a huge difference in dealing with the blight and more importantly, the reduction in values of these neighborhoods because these homes were just boarded up. And the stewardship component of our program, where 80% of our homeowners participating in ongoing stewardship services, and so they come to us if they need a referral, or if they have a question, or whatever, just want to say hey.
I think we're at the end of the slides, Maggie.
Yeah, so I did that fast, huh?
Yeah, that was great. We're doing all right on time, but we will try to speed it up here, I think, a little at the end. Wes, were you going to take this piece?
I can, but it'd be great because I know you're a little bit more familiar with some of these programs if you jump in. But I can start and just let everyone know. I wanted to make sure we contextualize that, PICLET is the core lead partner on this Mi Casita project because in a huge part, we were inspired by other projects throughout the country, other community land trusts that are incorporating ADUs into their models. So that is kind of one arm of the Mi Casita project, is to sort of identify ways that that PICLET, the Pima County Community Land Trust, can potentially one day incorporate ADUs. So we just kind of wanted to quickly go over some of our, like, the inspirational programs throughout the country.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, Wes. So these are mostly land trust models, but there's one that's not. So the first one is in Denver. It's called the Elevation Community Land Trust. And they have a program that's actually specifically designed around combining a land trust and Casita model, where they got a lot of subsidies, so they're able to purchase homes. And then when you do the refinance and enter into the land lease with the community land trust, you can use the cash from that sale to either pay down your mortgage or build an accessory dwelling unit. So they were using the land trust kind of buys, which even in PICLET's model, you're buying for full market value, you're buying high and selling low. So it's kind of the opposite of the way most real estate development projects work. So there's the equity is then being gifted to future homeowners, but in this case they're also taking out some of that equity to either help people maintain their homes, so people who have a bunch of deferred maintenance are able to do that, or they're using the equity to build an ADU for income generation. So that was really inspiring model. The other one I am less familiar with, but it's the City of Lakes Community Land Trust, and they have a Sustained Legacy project. And so again, this is designed for homeowners who are facing potential foreclosure. And so the community land trust kind of intervenes before they face foreclosure and purchase of the home, and helps them get, again, pulls out potentially a little bit of equity to either help them rehab or people facing, tax debt, significant, deferred liens, tax liens, or deferred taxes. And yeah, this program helped keep a lot of people out of homelessness. And again, and this one just had a ton of public subsidy, which is a theme, I think, of all community land trusts. Maggie has told me many times, it's a very expensive, it's a very expensive model. I mean, whoever is operating these has to buy the houses outright, again, at full market value, and has to come up with quite a bit of subsidy. So, and then this program is not, third one isn't this one is not a land trust model, but we were inspired by it because this is a design planning firm in LA called LA Moss. And their program combined casitas, and their program was more targeting moderate to moderately high income households. And these homeowners would get some subsidy to help to build the ADU, and in exchange, we're renting those ADUs out, casitas out to Section 8 voucher holders. So that was an interesting program as well. But kind of the opposite, most of the land trusts are really focused on helping out low to moderate income households, and even potentially maybe helping them gain more wealth through the construction of an ADU. But this one was kind of the opposite, trying to help higher income have groups help lower income groups. So kind of opposite goals, but both really interesting models. Okay, so now we have an announcement. So who, I'm forgetting who, Maggie, was this you?
Between all of us, let's just.
Here, I can introduce it, but then I'll have Maggie and Shay go into the details. But basically, this is a starting point of our partnership, and the Mi Casita project is like finding pathways. And we applied for ARPA funding in the first round of ARPA funding, which is the American, what is it? The
American Rescue Plan Act.
Yeah. And we received it. So we'll have Maggie and Shay explain what that potentially means.
So so basically, City of Tucson had a funding source, and we applied for it, and we asked for $150,000 to provide gap financing for people who want to build an ADU. And so one caveat I'm going to say is this money's, the contract is retroactive as of April. We just signed it, and we're just kind of creating the program guidelines, but these are the things that we do know. So it's $150,000, and then we also got $150,000 to purchase land. So wish us luck. And if you know of anybody who has land, we want to buy it. So there is, I don't know if there's the next slide. So there's, we kind of set, $15,000 to $20,000 in gap financing. The criteria is that you do need to be, this is again HUD money, and that income criteria, there's not much we can do. You have to be 80% of area median income or below. Right? Are we going to talk?
Do you want to go to the next slide? I think it's on the next slide, Shay.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
Yeah, so income eligibility, you have to be at 80% of area median income or below. There is an affordability period of about 5 years, maybe 10 years. What that means is that the casita that you build has to be what is it called, Jerry? The home affordable rent?
Rent, yes.
Yeah.
They have, it has to be affordable rent for 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and it depends on if you get less than 20, it's 5. If you get 20 or more, it's 10.
It's 10.
So that means that, we kind of have to, you're going to have to be involved with the land trust so that we can monitor that. Again, we don't ever want to be put in a position where the City of Tucson says, pay this money back. So, right. It's going to be a monitoring thing. We do need to kind of know. So the idea, when we were kind of fleshing this out is, is that we have to have you have to have an idea of how much it's going to cost you. You have to have an idea. It's gap financing. So if it's going to cost you $100,000, you've got 80, then potentially we can give you 20. So it's kind of to give you that last hurdle. There will be some kind of, in addition, something that says that you have some skin in the game. With any loan product, that's the down payment, except for land trust, of course. It requires, that you put some down of your own money into the transaction. So we're kind of, those are the things that we're still determining. We're also looking for hopefully some other lending opportunities or partnerships with maybe the City of Tucson Industrial Development Authority, some other lenders in town who will hopefully be able to provide us with a more flexible loan product. There's, one of the things Shay is committing to is free or reduced price model plans that, will be applicable in some situations, but not all. And I'll let her go into that more. It's for new ADUs or remodeling an existing structure. So we're in, like I said, we're also hopefully going to get some fee waivers to apply to these. Anything else, Shay, that I don't know what's on the next slide, but again, yeah. And so those are the income criteria for, in order to be eligible. Like I said, there's not really much we can do. The only thing I can tell you is, as very seasoned, Geraldine and I are very seasoned housing counselors. This is what we do. And we try to calculate income so that we include people and not disqualify them. Our goal is, how do we figure out to make people qualify for this? So that's always our approach. So, and then I guess the other thing is household size. So going back to that table, one of the things that the caveats that I need to explain to people, and again, we're defining the process, etc. But household size is household size. It's how many people are in your household currently, and their income too. So when we are talking about income eligibility, it is not the same as who's applying for the loan and using their income to determine how much loan you can qualify for. The eligibility, income eligibility, is all about how many people in your household and what's the combined income of everyone in the household. Again, it has nothing to do with the loan. It has only to do with determining the eligibility for the funds. And this is how HUD tells us how to do it.
Correct. Yep.
So
We have a very big disclaimer that we're still working, with our, this is all still in motion. We're to have both with our potential financial partners, funding partners, the city also. We would love to try to layer, again, as much subsidy and incentives as we can into this program. One of the things we've talked about is, can we get since we're doing affordable housing, can we get an impact fee waiver? But it's not, none of this is finalized yet. And we're hoping that we can hold an info session on this grant opportunity in the next few weeks, and we'll send out the information to everybody who's on the call. And in the meantime, just please send us your questions. We don't really want to take too many questions on this topic here today because it's still, again, just still in motion, but please send us an email your questions so that we can be ready and prepared to answer them at the next session.
but we really did want to announce it though.
And also let us know. Yeah. Yes, we wanted to announce it so we can get the ball rolling sooner than later, because we don't have a ton of time also to spend this funding. We've got until, what is it, next year? We've got like 9 months.
March of next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so also let us know if you're in the process of a project. I mean, some of you we've gotten to know over this whole series, so we know a lot of you are in process or have plans underway. Your project can be not yet started, or it could be in process. I don't think we have any restrictions on that. So yeah, again, because we don't want to fumble through answers, or make up answers on the spot. It just would be really helpful for anyone who has questions to go ahead and email them to us so we can let your questions kind of guide structuring this program and showing us the research we need to do to make sure we have all the answers.
So I think that pretty much concludes our presentation, and then we have just open discussion for the next 30 minutes. We'd like, again, to keep the focus centered on the land trust and that presentation as far as questions, and less on the program because we're just not quite ready to answer those questions yet. But we'll go ahead and get started here.